Welcome back to Ruddle Me This. As always, I am your host, the Pākehā Playboy, Taylor Ruddle. Now this is a relatively special episode. I record, for those of you who've been listening, you'll know that I recently completed a 20-date, month-long comedy tour with TV comedian David Correos. And between the two of us, we actually recorded pretty much every single set we did on this tour. So mainly for review purposes, but as with anything else in a comedy, a live comedy sort of environment, there were certain things that only happened in the room, or certain jokes that I only did once, or what have you. And I suppose we can call these the cutting room floor jokes. So for this episode, I thought it would be really fun for me to have a bit of a scan through all of the recordings and pick out some of my favourite things, such as jokes that I only did once for reasons that will become clear when you hear them, things like crowd interactions, or just other little one-off things that only happened in that room on that night. So if you were unable to make it to any of our shows, or you actually did attend one of the shows and you would like to know what the vibe was on the other shows, then listen on, because you'll be able to hear all sorts of little pieces from the tour. I'm going to be giving some context on certain pieces and to help you maybe understand what exactly was going on. So that's enough wittering on from me. Let's get after it with the jokes. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you'll come back to see me at another live show in the future. Thank you very much. Given that David Correos was much more famous than I am, and most of the crowd were mostly there to see him, I had a couple of lines at the start of the show just to tally some expectations, as well as to kind of play on the fact that he was known and I was not. So here are those two bits there.
Give us a little chat. Do you recognise David from the Burger King commercials? Yeah. Probably recognise me from Burger King. Standing outside the front asking for money. I don't know. Most of you probably don't know who I am, and that's fine, you're not supposed to. The other day we were driving down to Wanaka, and David told me that if I wasn't on the show, it would only cost $15. But you've all paid $20 to get in tonight, haven't you? So that means you're about to experience the full unbridled wrath of $5 worth of stand-up comedy. We're really going to stretch that comedy dollar over the next 25 minutes. It's about 16 cents a comedy a minute, for the numbers. I'm like the Domino's $5 range of comedy. Like, yes, there are better comedians out there, but you really can't compete with the value that I'm offering tonight. Christopher Luxon could watch me do stand-up comedy and still have $55 left over for his groceries. How out of touch do you have to be to say that, right? Like, I could never be a politician, because I'd be like, Mr. Ruddle, how much do you spend on groceries a week? And I'd be like, you don't want to know the answer to that question. You don't want to know the answer.
Piece about being worth $5 of comedy was something I used to do at the start of the show to kind of temper their expectations. And while it happened, our now Prime Minister, or soon-to-be Prime Minister, Christopher Luxon, said that he only spends $60 a week on groceries, so I thought I'd get in a little topical reference there in case you're listening to this in the future and you have no idea why me saying the $50 thing was so funny.
Hello Nelson, you guys feeling alright?
Yeah!
I probably don't know this, but I did all the booking of this tour, so I got to decide what venues we played, and we got to ask for any requests in the rider and stuff, and I asked for these Japanese tea walls, because I always wanted to perform in a venue where it felt like I was about to be assassinated by ninjas and anything like that. So if you see any shadows running behind me, just let me know.
This here is one of my favourite one-liners ever. Hope you enjoy it.
My doctor asked me if any of my previous sexual partners have HPV, and I said, all of them. I'd never sleep with anyone that didn't have Harry Potter 5 on DVD. Not bad.
This one here is me actually, I can't believe I'm saying this. It's audio of me falling off the stage in Inch Bar. I tripped on, there was like a little step in the stage, and I tripped, and I thought I'd actually really damaged the soundboard, Luckily, I just knocked one of the little knobs off the little metal slider thing, and everything seemed to be in order. But in the room, you can hear it in my voice that I think I've really damaged this thing, but thankfully not.
Let's see how far we can stretch this comedy dollar over the next 30 minutes. Can I give this a little more juice? Is that okay? Oh no! Oh my goodness! Hold up. Is that better? No, I've completely buggered it, have I? Oh fuck, that's not bad. It's still going, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Man, that first step's a doozy. Thank you, Jared. I'll sort that out later with them. I'll cost him some money or something to fix it. Okay, good start to the show there. Comedian destroys some of the technology involved with doing the show. Right, jokes. Let's do some jokes to take your mind off of that.
Another one-liner that I quite like. The only reason I wanted to play this one in here was because the day after, David was telling me that it really caught him off guard, and you can hear him laughing quite long in the background, so I just wanted to put that in.
Every year my friends and I have an Oscar watching party. My neighbour absolutely hates it. He comes over to complain every year, and every year I tell him, look, Oscar. He didn't like it. He'd buy some curtains, right? I think what happens is when I'm trying to spell things over the phone, I panic. And like, you know how like, what was your name?
Nick.
Nick. So like, we're getting laughs off of names now. There's a hot crowd, David. And what was your name?
Jessa.
Well, I've figured out what the rest of my set is going to be. What's your name?
B.
This next piece about taking photos at the airport I may actually still one day use, based on a very real thing that happened to me.
Oh, I love a tear-filled airport goodbye. You know, when you've done like a long distance relationship or something, you got to have those really uncomfortable tear-filled goodbyes. And then I had one of these a few years ago. It was basically the last time I saw my at the time girlfriend, but now ex. I didn't know it at the time, but we were soon to break up, and we're having this big hug at the airport, both of us, tears streaming down our face, and this American lady walks over and goes, "Excuse me, can you please take our picture?" Like, read the room, right? Like that. You could find heaps of people around in a moment of vulnerability, and so I'm like standing there with the phone, big smile. Okay, now let's do a silly one.
Little short one here for context. When I said something about millennial women finding me irresistible, a guy in the front row just started pointing to the woman that he was with.
Because the weird thing about looking like Shrek is millennial women find me irresistible. And they don't know why. One in the front row there. I hope that's not your boyfriend there, because it's going to be a quiet ride home in the car.
Is anybody from Christchurch? You were from kind of there, one of the back. So
Yeah.
if you've never been, here's what kind of place Christchurch is. And it's summed up by an experience I had with a man, which, no, hang on, don't. Yeah, not what I mean. That sounds like a glory hole situation, isn't it? No, I had an encounter with a gentleman, and I'm just digging. Not any better? Sorry. Yeah, okay. Good to see you again, by the way. No,
So this piece here, I hope it's clear from the audio, but I was asking the audience members if their children had said anything weird or out of pocket, and I hope you'll be able to hear it, but if you can't, the woman said that her child referred to something as bumhole bees.
Now, to regale them with a story of my father and his mighty speed. It's just amazing. Does anybody have kids in the audience today?
Yeah.
Now, how old are your I was going to say progeny, but I'd use long words, like I said.
At 16 and 12.
Did they ever say anything weird like that when they were younger?
All the time.
What, do you have a highlight that sticks out? They still do. 14 years old, yeah. Any highlights stick out?
The little one was afraid of bumhole bees.
Bumhole bees.
Couldn't say bumhole.
Oh, right, okay.
It was a bumhole bee.
I love how I just took that at face value, like bumhobies. Yep, okay, I understand that fear perfectly. I would be terrified of those too. These floating anuses. You accidentally, you know when you're doing the gardening and you run over like a wasp's nest or whatever and it'll come up at you.
At some point during the Rolliston show, a small dog ran through the door, evidently saw me on stage and went, "Nah, bro, I'm sweet," and then he ran back outside again, and I thought I'd riff on that.
So we got there in the end. So it comes up every now and then. Is it a dog in the back of the room? All right. You should be doing the jokes like that on me. I love it. He didn't pay us $5 to sing that comedy thief over there.
This next piece was fun. I actually had someone in the crowd who had seen me before, and I think wouldn't be offended if I called them a fan. And so I just thought of exaggerating that and shouting something at David. And I don't know if you can hear it from this audio, but you can hear David in the background go, "Fuck you, Taylor." All right, Nelson, the first crowd that actually clapped the same amount of time that I got to the stage. Normally that stops a lot quicker. Happens when you're 50% of a tour where nobody knows who you are. So it's been good for me. Has anyone seen me do comedy before? Did you guys come to my friend's show last year? Oh yeah, okay. Who's got fans now, David? This one here was me talking to a teacher or something, and she said apparently everyone sleeps with everyone, so I riffed on that. Enjoy. Do we have any teachers in today? One at the back. Do you know, like, how old do you kind of teach?
12 to 18.
Oh, so that's less, like, you don't get, do they spill tea to you, or how do you, when you see them at the parental teacher interviews, you kind of like, I know a lot of things about their marriage?
Yeah, pretty much.
Has there anything, like, have you got any real good goss you could share with us tonight? Just with...
So much.
give me one thing,
I think I'd probably get in trouble.
That's fair. Do it. Yeah, pressure. You don't have to use any names.
Okay, you know the rumour, this is what I got.
The rumour.
That woman, my mum, slept with my cousin's brothers, blah blah blah. Everyone sleeps with everybody where I'm from, yes.
Is this a Queenstown thing? Because if it is, I might have to move to Queenstown, you know what I'm saying? Go find me a child and pretend I'm a struggling single father.
I forget why I was asking people their fears, but every now and then some people had a funny fear that we got to riff on.
Most people have normal fears. Like, what's your greatest fear then, my friend?
Being alone.
You'd be surprised, but that comes up at every single show. Someone says being alone. Okay, then what about you, my friend? What was your biggest fear?
I don't like white vans with tinted windows.
White vans with tinted windows? That's a good thing to be afraid of. That's a fear that keeps you alive. That's a fear that keeps you alive. And then we'll go with, let's see, maybe my friend with the glasses there. What is your biggest fear? Yep.
Birds.
You had that.
Birds inside, especially.
Birds, yeah, there's something ominous about it.
Like keep insane and stuff.
How'd you get in here, right? Yeah, yeah, that is quite scary. Are you one of the people that believes birds are a government invention, or? That's why I find them so scary.
The thing about these tours is even though the shows went incredibly well, not all of the jokes worked at all, and I'm going to play you some audio of this particular bus joke that I tried 3 or 4 times in a row and just could not get it to work.
Yeah. In Christchurch we have this weird, like, they decided this would be a good idea, it's a bus and a bicycle lane. Like, those two vehicles share the same lane in Christchurch. Yeah. The most vulnerable people on the road, and then like a house on wheels, where the driver does not give one fuck if you live or die. Oh, we'll just throw those in together. Yeah, no, they're the same thing, the same category of vehicle, bus and bicycle. But like, imagine if you put a boxing match together where you had the former heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua, fighting a bus. Okay, that's the first time I've told that joke, and the last apparently as well. Just going to put a little cross next to that one in my notebook. Woo! 9 minutes minutes into the set. We got more. It'd be like if you made former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson and made him fight a bus. Interesting. Yeah, so that joke I've done 3 times so far, and it's gotten exactly the same reaction every single time. And the first time it was out in Kiwi, so I thought, oh, that's a false negative right there. They don't know what a bus is out in Kiwi. Then I did it last night here, again, same reaction. And then, I thought, I don't know what they're talking about. So that's going to be a no. I don't think Nelson's going to hear that joke. You've all helped me edit my set. I've just ended at the other line there, and we'll be on. So that's putting bikes with buses in the same lane. It's a bit like if you started like a new UFC weight division and it was like heavyweights and toddlers. Okay, that joke's still not getting a laugh. I've done that about 4 times, and each time it's different, and I think, that's a false negative. I'll get him the next show. And here we are. So we're just going to move on from the $5. You only paid $5 for me, folks.
This bit here was from one of the Austin Club shows. I was doing a joke about weight or something, and one guy nudged his friend. So then later on, I tried to help the friend who was nudged get his friend back.
You ever hear someone use the phrase between jobs? Sounds nice, doesn't it? Sounds better than unemployed. I think it's a good way to put things. If you don't want to say unemployed, you sound between jobs. So instead of telling people I'm fat, I just tell them I'm between gym memberships. It's quite a good system, to be honest. Eh? No, I genuinely want to hear what you have to say.
My friend tapped me on the shoulder and I wasn't happy with it.
Oh, shit!
It was too relatable.
Man, you look good though, man. Like, I'm dreaming about that physique over there.
It's a very cross-front.
You could be my personal trainer and we'd really see some progress here, I think. He did not sound keen for the rest of the crowd that didn't hear that. There's another phrase that I hear people use a lot is they say, I'm not me when I drink. You ever hear someone use this phrase? Like, I have a very good friend of mine who's a bit of a fiend when he's on the old alcohol, and he always says, I'm not me when I drink. But, like, he tells me the things he did. Did you nudge your friend back there?
I don't know whether this next piece is something that I came up with or something that I read somewhere and then vaguely regurgitated. It comes to do with the fact that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, they respect the fact that Mr. Hyde didn't go to medical school. I do apologise if I've nicked this from somewhere, but I thought it was kind of funny on the night. You can also see that as well, a lot of these jokes working, there was quite a lot that didn't on this tour.
We now get fucked, eh, Jonty? You guys said I could have the last piece of pizza.
Doesn't that make a bit more sense coming out of this body, like the dumb voice? And like, that's what I call it. It's like he comes out of me, it's like the Incredible Hulk or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or whatever the thing is. I like the consistency with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde because Mr. Hyde didn't go to medical school. That was only Dr. Jekyll, so they appropriately call him Mr. Hyde afterwards. 2 people found that funny, so we'll just move on for that.
I've never thought about that.
Are you 2 doctors?
Good point.
Well, let's actually find out who's just give me a chair or something if you're in medical school at the moment. All right, cool. Not what I expected when you come to Dunedin then. Is anybody studying? Give me like a little chair or something. What is your area of study at the back there? Yeah.
IT.
Oh yeah, that's kind of my field, I guess. I didn't know you had to go to uni to do that.
You don't.
Oh, okay, shit. So how much debt are you in from that then?
18 grand.
That's actually not bad as far as uni goes, right? Like,
Polytech.
I studied graphic design, and I think my loan was like $40 or something. It was great. pay that in cash, get out of it before you leave the country. It was great.
This bit here was asking the crowd about local characters, and apparently there was a king of Dunedin.
What happens when you do a road gig as a comedian? The MC will be like, coming all the way from Christchurch, it's Taylor Ruddle, and then there's this weird expectation in the air that I'm supposed to riff on Christchurch a little bit, but not a lot of funny things in Christchurch. Like, it's just been tragedy after tragedy for 20 years. Not a great foot to start a comedy show on. And I can't get real specific. I can't be like, hey, you know the crazy guy that asks for money on the corner of High Street? Like, no one knows what I'm talking about. We don't have any, the wizard got like, that was the only character we had. Like, he was the last of a dying breed, I think. And to be honest, probably not a bad thing. Do you have any characters like that in Dunedin?
Yes.
What have you got?
It's called the King.
The King?
Yeah, the king.
So we've got a wizard, we've got a king. We could put like a whole chessboard together or something, couldn't we, at the end? What is the king, what is his gimmick?
He's dressed as a king.
And like, does he, what does he do anything, or is he just kind of...
I don't know.
He rides his bike around.
He just bikes around.
Bikes around dressed as a king? Hey, it's eco-friendly, right? Huh?
It's like a gold helmet.
A gold crown?
Because he's the king. A
And-
helmet. Because he's
It's a helmet.
Fuck.
He bikes
That's
around.
that's a custom job for sure, right?
Yeah.
He would have had to see someone about that. They don't just sell those like it looks sharp, like and like what does he like yell anything, or does he just mind his business and
He used to protest against the mayor, but then the mayor died.
looks like he wins then, doesn't he? I don't think you've got a mayor in Dunedin. I think you've got a king in Dunedin. That's amazing. And what was his like his claim to the throne, or like what was his platform for protesting the mayor? He just felt like he was going to have a go, and it sounds like it worked out for him.
He had like a sandwich board of issues with.
Oh, that's amazing.
Under, over his king uniform.
Damn. So he had like the purple robes or something like that. Was that the kind of?
Big robe.
And he's still. I think after the show I'm going to go and try and find the king, and I'll bend the knee because he sounds like someone who gets. He sounds like he gets things done. Did they like what was? How did the mayor die? Was it like that thing in Game of Thrones when Joffrey like cuts his head off, or like what the?
No, the classic comedy cancer.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. Cool. I was asking for that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I guess.
Another routine I did was about Hungry Walk, and one of the pieces is me wondering what happens if your Hungry Walk parcel is deemed unacceptable, and a guy actually told me what happened.
And so then it's the moment of truth, because I don't know what happens at Hungry Walk if it's deemed unacceptable. Like, do I have to choose what I want to put back into the buffet? I don't think they want me doing that, and it hasn't happened yet. So, hey?
They charge you extra.
Oh fuck! Okay, you've had this happen before, have you? What? How much did you take the piss? $5. They only charge you $5. That's all right then. What was the criteria? Was it just some stuff overhanging or what? Because I've never had this happen.
They couldn't close the lid.
They couldn't close the lid, so there's a $5 couldn't close the lid charge. That is fantastic. So, I mean, that's still a pretty good deal, right? Like, you can get like at least another $12 worth in that space. So that's still pretty economical.
I don't know what was so funny about this piece here. It was in a part of my Hungry Walk bit, but I said something and the audience seemed to think that was kind of sinister the way I said it.
And then you get home and you've got to shake it out of the thing, and you just have this like homogeneous brick of Chinese food falls onto your plate, and then you do whatever you got to do with it. And yeah, that sounded really sinister. I'm not building a house with it or something like that. I have one brick, and every day I go to Hungry Walk, and eventually I'll have a Chinese food house.
This bit here was quite funny. It was David requesting that I do the Hungry Walk joke. The reason I was so flustered was because I already thought I was running out of time, because we'd agreed to go a little bit shorter in the Nelson shows just because it wasn't a pub environment. We thought we'll keep it tight. But this was quite a funny interaction.
Keep the other little cars away. The other day I saw a Mazda Demio parked in there, and I turned into Walter White from Breaking Bad. Walked over and was like, "Stay out of my territory." Damn it, that joke just never gets a laugh. Doesn't stop me from doing it though. We're on show 18, I think. 19? Yeah, still nothing from that one. The last thing we'll do a couple of one-liners, and then I'll tell you one thing, and then we'll bring David on. So
Do the Hungry Walk joke as well.
you want me to do the Hungry Walk joke?
Yeah.
I don't have time, dog.
Do it,
Okay, I'll do hungry walk as well. I'm getting requests with him, but he's my boss, basically. It's like your boss telling you to dress sexier at work a little bit. I can't really say no. Do you like this outfit on me? Does it look alright? Yeah. So David actually bought most of this because he said I looked a bit like a Reddit admin. So I was like, I can't let people find out the truth, you know. So, we're gradually we're shaping up. I'm looking a little better. So
I did a lot of talking about ram raids on this tour, and this particular one was me asking the audience in Dunedin if there had been a ram raid, and this is what they said.
And then I asked Queenstown. You don't really have them in Queenstown, right? I heard like something like 14 Mazda Demios get stolen every month here and like boosted around. People learn how to steal them off TikTok, I think is the thing. And yeah, I was just thinking, maybe the reason it doesn't happen a lot here is because there's not enough like stretches of open road with all the roadworks around. You can't really get a good run up into one of the stores. But no one's heard about any happening here or anything like that. I'm just kind of curious. Nothing like that. What? There was one that happened?
Yeah, we won.
Fuck yes, this is what I'm here for. Tell us more.
Someone died.
Oh fuck. Alright, so that is so far number 2. Remember, $5 worth of comedy. Oh, yeah. I'm giving you $5 worth of comedy. The other 2, that's where the money is with those 2. So someone died in a ram raid. That's, you know.
Who was a criminal?
Yeah, I was going to say, was it the person driving the car?
Yeah, it was afterwards.
It was
Interesting.
Not during.
What were they attempting to steal?
alcohol.
It's always like the you don't even need a cut. You could get a sledgehammer or something and just like, you know, it's madness. Oh well, so that's that.
There's another clip. Apparently someone ram raided a dairy to steal pies because of some deal in Dunedin.
Yeah, not a lot in Dunedin from what I understand, right? Like, has anyone ever seen or heard of anything like that? Nothing hilarious?
I have.
Well, yeah. Yeah. That was the confidence of someone who's done a ram raid before.
Didn't get caught, so no.
Yeah, well, that's how you paid for the tickets tonight. And
It was 11:58 on $2 pie day.
wait, hang on a second. There's a little backstory. So it's $2 pie day. What's the deal with that?
Every Tuesday, Night and Day does like a deal on, and it ends at midnight. It ends at midnight.
Oh, so
11:58. There was a car crashed into the Night and Day. This was like a year and a half ago.
Holy crap! And that was because they were running late. So like, I don't have time to parallel park. I'm just gonna leave it here.
This next bit here is from the Rolliston show. There was a guy in the crowd who was like your typical like loose unit Kiwi guy. He had a long curly mullet, flip-flops and shorts, and he was drinking out of a big Crate Day bottle. But he was such a lovely dude, and he seemed very self-aware of his image. So at one point when I was asking people, can they drive, he had this response.
But so yeah, like much like these kind of occur, like I find that intensely stressful. Like I have nightmares about like I have to parallel park at 5 o'clock on a main road, and like if I can't Google Maps where I have to go somewhere for the first time, like it gets to the point where on the street view I'm trying to zoom in on the little signs to see if it's a 6 o'clock, and so, you know, like those free parking things. That's how intensely I'm nervous about this. And so I can actually tell you, based on what you drive, what your favorite type of parking is. So what kind of car do you drive there?
Suzuki Swift.
Suzuki Swift. Okay, so you are a demon at parallel parking. You can get that. So then what about you? What do you drive?
Also a Suzuki.
Okay. What do you drive?
Toyota Yaris.
Toyota Yaris. What is that? That's like a station wagon kind of thing? Okay, you guys are gonna love a bit I do later on in the show, because I'm relating to this audience a lot more than I see the truth. What about you? What do you drive?
Toyota which is like a Yaris.
Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna cut to the punchline. Does anyone drive like a surf or anything like that? No, what about Christchurch? What do you drive?
Me, I don't drive.
Is that I'm not allowed to drive, or
This is a piece that I'd been doing it for most of the tour, and I really liked this routine, but it just wasn't really connecting with people. I just couldn't figure out how to get people to really resonate with it. But because I sort of stopped doing it and it was in a relatively complete state when I did, I thought I'll chuck this in anyway, and maybe you'll enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it.
I would love to see a heist movie, but it's a ram raid. Like, I'd love to see, you got to follow the typical formula of the charismatic leader. He gets the whole team back together. They're all like 11 years old. And like, he's got beef with like the bottle store guy for some reason. That's the real reason he wants to knock over the bottle store. And you got to get your team together. Everybody's got a speciality. Like, they've got Kyle. He would be the driver. He's the deadliest man behind the wheel of a Mazda Demio in Christchurch. Then you'd need like the tech specialist. That would be Jaden, which is Jaiden, in case you're wondering. He's got like 30 followers on Snapchat, so that's his tech thing. He's going to get the message out to the world. And then you've got the strong arm guy. He's Jaden as well, but he's Jeighdynne. You know, like how white people like to do that to names. And like his specialty is he can carry a bottle of Hennessy in each hand. That's a feat of strength at that age. And then you've got the old boy. You know how there's always the old one in the heist movies? It's like his last job before he retires. He's like 17 or something. He gets killed in the escape attempt. Something falls on him or something. And as he's laying there dying, he just wants his share of the alcohol to go to his daughter. Never have to think about alcohol again. I don't know. And I think you could keep the name as Ocean's 11 because that's how old they all are. So no changes to the name there. I think that's a good name for that. If you got money to fund a movie, come and talk to me after the show because we can get this made for like $1.50.
This next joke is basically the way that I was closing out my sets. I was really happy with the jokes, and I think it was really funny. The only problem with them was it's too local. It's very Kiwi. All the cities that I reference are very, very local references. So for that reason, probably won't make it into the show if I'm going to take it overseas or film it and put it online. So with that, I'm going to put the whole kind of end of the show in its entirety here, and that will be the end of this episode. I was really, really blown away by how long of an applause break the Nelson crowd gave me after this. I was even getting a little bit emotional just from how kind they were to me with such a nice applause for the last show of the tour.
So I'll tell you this, we've been asking all the cities if they've been having ram raids in the whole tour, and there's been some fantastic answers. First of all, I've learned how much of a Christchurch problem this is. No one else is really dealing with it. So like the first place we went to was Rangiora. I think you're all familiar with Rangiora. It's kind of a rural community. And when I asked if they have ram raids, there was silence. And then an old man really earnestly just went, "We have rams here." I guess like a Rangiora ram raid is just like you steal your neighbour's best blue ribbon working scarf or something. Really didn't like how hard Ashburton and Kerwee laughed at that joke. Like, yeah guys, let's pretend it's any different out here. The second one was in Queenstown. We asked if they had Queenstown, a ram raid in Queenstown, and the crowd, they didn't think of it for a second, but then they went, "Oh yeah, we had one by accident." Turned into the pink ladies from Greece. Tell me more. Was the driver all right? And so we're like, what had happened was some tourists had rented a car, and they accidentally backed it into like a shop kind of front thing. And then I guess they were just like, well, when in Rome. And started taking stuff. And then the best one in the whole tour so far has been in Wanaka. We asked if they have ram raids in Wanaka, and the laugh that came back to me was very arrogant and haughty. It was like, how quaint. You think we have ram raids here in Wanaka? The only crime we commit is tax evasion. And I didn't really want them to feel left out, so I ram raided a bunch of stores on the way out of Wanaka. And unrelated, but I'm going to be selling merino sweaters out of the back of my car after the show. So if you want to pull through, I'll give you a 2-for-1 deal, and we can cripple the economy of Wanaka together. Well, that's basically all from me. Do you feel like you've got your $5 worth of comedy out of me? Thank you. long clap. That was a long clap. Thank you. You're still going, okay. That is, you got $7 for the comedy.
So that's all from the cutting room floor of the David Correos and Taylor Ruddle New Material Tour. I hope you got a little bit of a giggle out of some of those clips. It was such a fun tour. I really like a once in a lifetime sort of opportunity. Once again, big thank you to David and to Notorious Management for asking me to join them on this quest. I had such a good time, and I hope you've been able to experience some of the joy that I had while I was participating on this tour. You'll probably hear from a lot of the clips I'm laughing along with the audience, which is it's typically a bad habit for comedians, but I just can't help it. I just enjoy performing so much. Haven't really got a lot to plug for you this week. As usual, the Tuesday night quiz at Bridie's Bar and Bistro, 7:30pm every Tuesday, 6:30pm at Moi Moi on Wells Street in the Christchurch CBD. The Laugh Cellar at Austin Club, 7 o'clock every Thursday except for the last. And then on the last Thursday, Sprig and Firm Merivale, $10 entry for that. As always, I'm Taylor Ruddle Comedy on all the social media platforms. Leave me a review on your favourite listening platform if you'd like to figure out a way you can help me out grow the podcast. The listeners have been steadily growing, and it's been absolutely awesome to see people seem to be getting really invested in the show. I'm delighted to have you along for the ride, and I hope you'll stick with me for many years to come. And I hope I can keep providing you with interesting guests and weird little podcasts like this one for you to enjoy. So with that said, we'll catch you next week. Ruddle around.